Okay, I think we're good. Oh, there we go. Okay, my face cam border seems to not be working properly for some reason. It's weird because when I go over here to the actual, like, layout, it's fine, but for some reason the starting stream is... Why is this screen fucked? What is up with it? What happened to my border? What the fuck? Hi, Chadokami. Yeah, this is the Gantt theme. Swimming, anyone. One of my favorites. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm just playing that because, the Apollo Justice doesn't have a main menu theme, so yeah, we're just playing our own music. So yeah, Turnabout Corner. I don't remember much because it's been like a bit over a week since the last episode. As you can see, I'm back up in New York College, so I literally just got my whole setup set up. You know. So, might have a few issues. Let me know if desktop audio... Obviously, this is just, you know, a fucking music playing. But once we actually get into the game, let me know if the audio is, like, too low or too high, since I, you know, have to adjust it. Also, my microphone. Let me know if there's any issues there, because, again, literally just got all of this set up. But yeah, anyways, let's get into it. I think we're going into the trial finally, I believe, right? Trial former. Yes, okay. Am I playing on a laptop? No. I was playing on a laptop, back when I was down in Miami. But now that I'm up in New York with my, like, actual setup, I'm playing on my desktop. June 16, 9:46 a.m., District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. Alright, before we get into anything... Actually, wait, let's get some music. Ooh. Where's the volume? That is way too loud, my god, let me turn that down. How's that volume? How is that? I'm reducing it by like 20 decibels because it is loud as fuck. Is that better? Let me know if it should go low. Gotta figure it out. Yeah, okay, then I think do it. Okay, we'll do it like this, and we'll see. Okay, let's take a look. Attorney's badge. Map. Map received from Phoenix Wright shows the area around Mr. Wright's office. Touch the check button for the right. So this is gonna be big because there's a lot of different things that happened, like simultaneously or like right after each other, and the map is gonna help us like piece together what happened. So, Kitaki Mansion. So, they were painting the wall to the Kitaki Mansion while Phoenix was out here doing something. At some point, a car drove by, hitting the paint cans into the mansion, and hitting Phoenix, who got off without a scratch. Oi, blokes, this courtroom kind of tastes funny, lads. Yeah. Hi, Firewall, how's it going? So, he goes in here. So the car drives down here, hits Phoenix, and then takes off. Then, at around the same time, here, someone steals Trucy's panties from, that were hanging right outside the Wright & Co. law offices, and then travel down to this road. So it's entirely possible that the person who hit Wright traveled this way, and then like this, and was the one who stole the panties. Then they traveled here and they went into the Maractus clinic we know for a fact that that's the car that hit right, and the path it would likely take would be either this or this. It seems rather likely that the car went here, passed by here, grabbed the panties, and then headed into the clinic. I suppose the only issue is, I don't know if Trucy said that whoever stole her panties had done so on foot, but I'm not 100% sure. Was there a map system in the previous Ace Attorney games? I mean, there were some pieces of evidence that weren't like a map of a city, because I don't think we've ever had a crime that was like this large scale, but like the indoor map of a building, we've had that. So, yeah, I suppose he could have parked the car, then seen the panties on the way here, parked the car, came back, grabbed the panties, Trucy chased them out, he went back into the clinic. Because we know for a fact that the guy at the clinic is the guy that ran over right, and the guy that stole the panties because they were in the muffler. Like in Rise from the Ashes. Then, at some point, this guy steals Mr. Eldoon's noodle stand and walks it down this street. He enters the park from, I presume it to be this entrance, that makes the most, and meets with a guy down here by the riverside, at which point he gets shot. I think that's kind of what, can I say now Trucy's name? Yes, you can. Yeah, so that's, I think, like a rough sequence of events of what happened. I guess, if we can connect the panties, that'll be helpful. I guess we need to see why he stole the cart, who he met with at the park, and why he got shot. So there's a lot of stuff for us to figure out here. Let me see. Also, wait. I have like, yeah, I have way too many windows. Okay, next piece. So the bowl, custom-made Eldoon's noodle bowl decorated with the so a distinctive bowl. If we ever find any bowls, we'll be able to use this as a reference to see if it is from the Eldoon shop or not. And we know for a fact that he draws the face on it himself, so it's not like it's just some generic bowl. These are unique. So we might also be able to use this as a reference for them. Wonder how that'll play. Somebody stole both a pair of panties and noodle stand, then got shot. Man, that does sound like California. I don't know. This whole case is feeling a bit more Florida to me, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Though stealing a whole noodle stand, that's a Detroit thing. The panties retrieved from the clinic garage. Caught for performing magic, found in the exhaust pipe of the car. I'm pretty sure we examined these and found nothing of it, right? Yeah, okay, so again, the person who stole Trucy's panties is the one who ran over right, who is also the victim. The cell phone. Type other. Viewed from the clinic. Found in the Maractus clinic garage beneath the car. Who could have dropped it? We actually never got an answer on what the cell phone is, because, color makes me think it was likely, a female person who dropped this. I guess I wonder if, because obviously the guy who has the car is like a fucking kleptomaniac, considering he stole a set of several panties actually, and a fucking entire goddamn noodle stand. So if an elephant is left at a parking meter, the owner is not exempt from the fees and will be ticketed if the meter has expired. This is the law in Florida. Yeah. Florida's fucking wild, man. Incredible. So, yeah. So I suppose this could have been stolen by, Maractus. I'm just gonna call him Maractus. You don't know. I don't know if that's his actual name, but I'm just gonna call him that. This could have been stolen, and then he dropped it as he was maybe getting out of the car. Or perhaps someone else was in that garage, and they dropped it. If that's the case, if we can figure out whose this is, it might allow us to place someone else at the clinic, which would actually be quite helpful for case. The mirror retrieved from the entrance to People Park, torn off the car that hit Mr. Wright. Fits. Yeah, okay, so this is just essentially proving that the guy at the Miraculous Clinic is the one that hit Wright. What a wild fucking night. All in the course of like a few minutes, this guy ran over a man, pissed off an entire mobster family, stole several sets of panties, stole an entire noodle stand, and got murdered. It's actually incredible. Why they still use cell phones in the Ace Attorney universe at this point in time? Yeah, it is interesting considering, I'm pretty sure Apollo Justice is set in, like, 2022, 2023-ish. And they're still on, you know, these types of cell phones, but I guess that's what they, you know, obviously the game was made in the, you know, early 2000s, so that's what they had back then. But it is always interesting seeing how, things made in the past portray the future, because it's always so far off, you know. Fingerprint powder. Meant to have Wright and Skye examined fingerprints. Yep. Very, very fucking easy. Nothing of interest. Yeah, we should probably check. Did we inspect the phone? I don't know if we did. Can we, like, try turning it on, or is it out of battery? Look at this cute little watch strap. I want one. It's kind of odd, though. It is. I mean, if you want to know the time, you can just look at the phone itself. Hey, you're right! Sharp, Apollo! Thanks. Finally, some respect. Yeah, which indicates that perhaps, I don't know what that indicates, honestly. But it looks like currently the time is 9... that... Oh, yeah, it's, 9:30. No wonder. What does that tell you? Well, the owner of this phone didn't... The details, for one. They did drop their phone, after all. I kinda figured they were a little spacey, alright. Oh, good point. 9:30. I wonder if that means anything. We have the autopsy report? Death at 10:15. Huh, when was the noodles? I wonder. Could the watch have broken when it was dropped? Maybe. If it is, then that would be great. It would allow us to place not only someone at the scene of the crime, but also the exact time they were there. Huh. Wasn't there... The game takes place in 2024, 2 years from present day. They have the base meme of the universe. They'll use cell phones. When Phoenix Zocap said, "Oh, I assure you, that's quite based." Yeah, that was so good during the laughs trial. Actually, just so fucking good. I fucking lost my mind when he was like, "Oh, I assure you, it's quite based." Do you check Mrs. Kataki's bloomers? I haven't yet. I'm going through all the evidence, you know, just to get a good refresher of everything that happened before going into the case, and trying to see what I can piece together. Yeah. I don't have enough info to, like, infer anything from the cell phone yet. We'll have to see. Stuff. I want to actually check the mirror. Not clean up. Oh, there are bare wires hanging out. Okay, we've actually already read it. Joke, scare me. Okay, yeah, so it was torn off, and it also has yellow paint from where it hit the paint can. See? So yeah, this is the mirror that hit, right? I don't see much use for it other than placing the fact, you know, connecting the two incidents together. Powder. Autopsy report. Here we go. This is important. Report received from Emma Skye. Time of death, June 14th. After 10 p.m. Cause of death, single bullet to the right temple. Right, this is crucial. Al Miratkis. Okay, age 46, male. Panty stealer by trade. Estimated time of death between 10:15 and 10:45. If I remember correctly, Guy Eldoon arrived at his house at 10 p.m., which means that during a 45-minute time period, his noodle stand was stolen, and the murder happened. So what's interesting is the fact that, if I remember correctly, when we were checking out the garage, the cell phone was like located right underneath the car in such a way that if you were to drive the car out, it would run over the cell phone and break it. So that makes me think that the cell phone must have been dropped after the car arrived, because if the cell phone had been dropped there before the car arrived, if the car would have then just run over the cell phone and broken it. So for real now, how can a game actually predict the base speed if they use it properly? I mean, yeah, because it's so accidental. Like, it's not even like, because it's just I don't remember if it was Payne or Gavin that was like, that claim is baseless. And Phoenix is like, oh, it's quite based, I assure you. Because it makes sense, right? If something is based, as in based on something, it's not baseless. But it just lines up so perfectly. It works so well. What is a plumer? Bloomer with a B. They're panty. Yeah, so I suppose there are two ways to interpret this, right? If, I don't know if the watch... So, I'm pretty sure this watch is broken, and the time hasn't changed. It's 9:30. The question is, was the watch broken when it was dropped, or did it possibly break when a car ran it over? If it broke when it dropped, we know that it was dropped at 9:30, and therefore, the car must have arrived sometime before 9:30. If it was broken as a result of being run over by the car, then that actually tells us that it was dropped before 9:30 and that the car arrived at 9:30. Either way, right, regardless of which scenario we want to use, the car could not have arrived at the clinic after 9:30. It must have been at 9:30 or before, either way. That's the time of death. That's useful. Also, yeah, which then also gives us a roughly 1 hour of time between the car arriving and the murder happening. And then, you know, after 10, the noodle stand. When the guy stole Trucy's panties, she was yelling at him for like 20 minutes. I don't get that reference. Cause of death, damage to the brain resulting from a bullet. Okay, hold on. Give me just a second. So right now, because I set this up quite hastily, I don't have a way to actually see the chat on my computer. I'm literally looking at the chat on my phone. But it's kind of running out of battery, so I need to plug it in. Hold on. Ooh. No, I have a genius idea. Hold on. Give me literally just... I just had the most genius idea. I have a wireless charger for my phone, and it will also hold it up at the perfect fucking angle. This is... I just need to plug it in. Yeah. Give it. Alright, let me move the microphone a bit back. Alright, there we go. Phone will now be charged, and I can see the chat right there. That is perfect. Mother fucking spammer bots! How many are there? My god! YouTube really needs to do a better job catching them. Like, they seem like you could really easily, like, automatically flag those, you know? Like, they're pretty straightforward, but whatever. So yeah, if I look that direction, that's chat. It also works because I can look at chat while speaking directly into the microphone, so that works. Cause of death, damage to the brain resulting from a bullet wound. Right, so the bullet went into the brain. Point of entry is the right temple, but there is no point of exit, so we can assume the bullet got lodged inside the victim. We might be able to recover it then if it got lodged inside the victim's brain. You know, during the autopsy, I assume you could, you know, get the bullet and then match the ballistic markings to figure out what came from. Maybe. Reporting the bot isn't really gonna do anything because like what? Like, YouTube will just delete their account, sure, but they can just make another. It's just better to just ban them and move on. Like, deleting their account isn't gonna. When is the next Persona stream? Tomorrow. Persona streams are always on Sundays, well, when I can, but yeah, we'll be continuing tomorrow, at the usual time. You know? How many are there? Friends started streaming again after a small hiatus and got 10 bots. I'm not kidding. Oh yeah, there are thousands. Like, you should see the Persona 3 stream we did. My god, we were getting bots in there like fucking, like every like few minutes we'd be in like a really fucking emotional scene. And like fucking bots would start spamming the chat, and it wasn't like a single message. It would be like duck, 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 duck. You know? It was ridiculous. But yeah, death was caused from the right. You actually have a map of the crime scene? No, I guess I'll use this one. So okay, let's assume you guys see my cursor? Yes, you can. Okay. So let's assume the murder happened here. So the guy is here facing the riverside, right? In the intro, we saw a guy standing right in front of him, right? The problem is, if he was shot in the right temple, which is right here, the bullet must have come from somewhere in this area, from his right side. The guy that was standing in front of him could not have shot him. It simply doesn't work. Yeah. Like, state the phone to my face. The bot pandemic, yeah. Yeah, okay, so him getting shot in the right temple is huge because it gives us a good estimate of where the person that shot him was. They were standing somewhere because you can't, you know, this is not a clear shot. This is a bit better, right? So they were likely standing somewhere in like this area. Then the knife, also known as a shiv, found at the crime scene bearing Walkie's prints. Yeah, it does have the prints of the defendant, but the thing is, it clearly isn't the murder weapon, because not only was the cause of death a bullet hole, the guy actually had he had no other wounds of any kind that were noted in the autopsy room, meaning that this knife never even touched him. So the defendant's prints are on this knife. That would mean that he was there on the night of the crime. That's what I call irrefutable scientific evidence. Neat! No, it's not scientific. Not so neat when it happens to be evidence against our client. But no, because in fact, it implies if he had a knife, why did he take out... I mean, if he had a gun, why would he take out a knife? He clearly took out the knife and at some point dropped it. What? But the killer had a gun, not a knife. What, did he like pull out his knife, threaten him, and then the guy was like, okay, he pulls out his knife, he's like, no, fuck you, like, fuck, you know, like, what, you wanted to surprise him? If anything, I think this knife actually helps our case more than anything. If we can twist it the right way? What if Edgeworth shot me? Hey, I'd let Edgeworth shoot me. I really like the thumbnail. Like Apollo would ever hook up with Juicy if Emma is there. It's just so much better. Noodle stand. Type other. Retrieve from Mr. Eldoon's noodle stand. Victim died pulling it. Make it sound like he died because he was... I don't know if there's anything to... Eldoon noodle. I can't believe how long it took me to figure out that Eldoon is just noodle spelled backwards. So his name is... So if you read his name backwards, it's literally Noodles Guy. Ah, look at this, Apollo. Mr. Eldoon spelled his name backwards on this side. I think that says noodle. As in Eldoon's Noodles. Huh? Oh, I get it. So the name of the store is the same whether you read it forwards or backwards. Yeah, I guess it would be. Well, except for the last S. Then, how about a store called E-Meat? Close, but that would be Team Mate backwards, and what store is that? Why? A store that sells meat. It's not meat unless it's Team Meat. Sure. And then, you know, the bloomers. Out of the trash can, distinctive bloomers. So these are from, the Kitaki. Oh, I guess we never examined them. I guess I forgot. Bloomers sure have a distinct design. What kanji is it? I know that's the, that's the tree kanji, right? This is... No, I don't recognize it. Yeah, no, I don't know what that kanji is. Do you know, Chodokami? Certainly know who they belong to at a glance. Oh, it says Kitaki, right? Because Kitaki is like Kitaki is a type, is a tree, right? It's a type, Kitaki is a word for tree. It's a type of tree, right? So if this is the tree kanji, that makes sense. This would be the, this would be some other kanji that would, then work out to be Kitaki. Okay, that works out. That way she doesn't have to write her name on them. Genius. I think writing her name would be easier than drawing a plum blossom. Awesome. Oh, right. So it's plum Kitaki. So yeah, that works. Guy's clothes are made out of flex tapes and we got stabbed. Phil Swift Spirit said, a lot of damage. I made it so he wasn't that much damage. But, yes, he had resistance to stabbing attacks. Alright, let's just check the profile. So Phoenix, he's the guy, he got run over. I don't think he'll be that relevant. Trucy, not gonna be relevant. Dr. Hickfield, suspicious looking fellow, though he apparently is Mr. Wright's physician. God, I fucking hate this man. I'm not sure how he's gonna be involved, although he does like pretending to be a doctor, and there was a clinic. You know, the victim was supposedly a doctor as well, so I guess we'll have to see if there's any kind of connection. Phil Swift was indeed the killer. I can't believe you've spoiled me. I'm perma-banning you. I'm sorry, looks like you're going to the Shadow Realm, Jimbo. Why to the fourth Kitaki family boss, busy cleaning up paint spilled by her friend. Okay, so she saw Phoenix getting hit by the car. She may have, and if she was there when the car hit, and then after that she was cleaning paint, then if she was here, then that means she would have full view of one of the two park entrances that we know about. There might be another one over here. which means that if the killer went into the park through this gate, she should be able to testify. So she's actually going to be really useful in helping us clear one of the two entrances to see who, if any, went through there. You have Hottie's profile, the Dio of Ace Attorney. I hate how he keeps coming back. Fucking hate him. I hate doing his voice. I hate everything about him. Eldoon. 46, male, tired of the noodle stand, Eldoon noodles, once stolen stand found. So he arrived at his house at around 10 with the noodle stand, after which it was stolen and became part of a murder case. So I don't know if there's anything else there. Alita Tiala, a woman who requested that I defend her fiance. Wonder if she'll be involved in any way. We don't really have anything indicating that. Clavier Gavin, splitting image, and younger brother Mr. Gavin, and an acquaintances. Right. I originally thought it was his son, but I guess not. Brother probably makes more. Again, I don't see how he involved. Emma Skye, head detective of the case, obsessed with forensic science, mood touchy. Winfred Kitaki, fourth boss of the Kitaki family, Walkie's father, wears an apron, don't ask. Cool. Okay, he is a mob boss, so, and I mean, we know for a fact that the guy who went on to become the victim was also the guy who spilled paint all over the Kitaki gate, meaning that the Kitaki family would definitely have a motive to kill him. So I wonder if the Kitakis are somehow more involved in this than we are so far led to believe. Winfred would be probably the one who has... Winfred and Plum are probably the ones who have the most influence. Walkie, heir to the Kitaki family empire, and Lita Tiala's fiance. This man couldn't kill a fly, not because he wouldn't kill a fly, because I just don't think he would be able to. Like, look at him. Look at this man. I think the fly would put him in a fucking, yeah, the fly would put him in a fucking full Nelson. Like, my god. He'd have to tap out. And Pal Maratkis, age 46, the victim, director of the Maratkis Clinic, died pulling the noodle stand. So for some reason, this man, after hitting right and stealing some panties, decided, I'm gonna steal a fucking noodle stand and go to the park. For reasons. Maybe he was trying to throw the noodle stand in the water to destroy it? I don't know. But then he got shot. Okay, that's all the evidence, so let's get right into it. Huh? Wright's not here today. But his foot injury was acting up. Old injury? It was all smiles yesterday. Yes, he smiled when he said, we'd be fine, as long as you're here, Trucy. Yeah, fine. We'll be fine. Here comes justice! I started my voice training at 5 this morning. Ooh, do some now. I want to see... here. Huh? Oh, okay. My name is Apollo Justice, and I'm fine! That sounds more like a self-mantra than a voice training. I'm fine, you know what I'm saying? This walkie. Ah, good morning. Yo, sup? Maybe with a guilty verdict, G. See if I care. You just hang loose and let things go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Not really. Fuck. Don't be running your... Fuck, don't be running your mouth like that. See, that's the difference between me and you, old man. I ain't afraid of no cops. Real G's can't keep it real till they spend some hard time in the pen. This man's going to jail for tax evasion. I'm telling you that much. He's not going to jail for murder. He's just not going to pay his taxes, and they're going to get him on that. Fun fact, did you know that, the IRS literally will tell you, like, in the, like, if you look for information on your taxes, they're like, you must pay taxes on any goods that you have stolen or otherwise acquired illegally. Like, you legitimately, like, the IRS knows so much more than the fucking feds do. And, like, you'll get fucked if you don't pay your taxes. It's incredible. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. Looks like they've both been voice training too, Apollo. The worst fears realized. Trial's starting and I still haven't had a real talk with my client. That is kind of an issue. We need to see what his story. June 16, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4. Court is now in session for the trial of Waukee, Kentucky. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready to rock and roll, Herr Judge. It's him! The guy from yesterday. He's a prosecutor? I guess, like, brother? Mr. Gavin's brother. Long time no see, Prosecutor Gavin. Were you taking a leave of absence? You know that little band I started in my free time? Thing is, we got real popular. Hard to say 9 to your fans when 3 of your singles go platinum, yeah? I see. To be honest, I was a little concerned. Right, so prosecutor with a side gig. Right. He's also somehow hotter than Gatto. So yeah, interesting that one brother was a defense attorney. A corrupt one and a murderer at that, but still a defense attorney and of some renown. The other one turned into a fucking rock star prosecutor. My god, these characters just keep getting weirder. We went from incompetent old man with bad hair to young upstart that would do everything in his power to win, but still pretty realistic, to fucking angry German woman with a whip, to fucking defense attorney brought back from the dead with, like, fucking technology and shit, who's also a murderer and, like, throws coffee at people. And now we have a rock star. I feared that you might still be distraught over that one trial. Not to worry, Herr Judge. I wouldn't miss this day in court for the world. It's worth even more than VIP passes to one of my concerts, yeah? How could I pass up a chance to see the true strength of the little boy who bested my brother? It was worth challenging and canceling a show or two. What is the age difference here, by the way? Because I remember Apollo was said to be the same age as Skye, which is 25. So yeah, they are roughly the same age. Apollo might actually be older than Gavin. I'm not sure. Because I'm pretty sure they said Apollo was the same age as Emma. Understood. You may give your opening statements to the court. Before that, I was thinking, is the air in this courtroom not a bit serious? It is a court of law. I love how in this universe, prosecutors literally just take cases for personal grudges. Like now, in the real world, you have like fucking conflicts of interest. Like if you know the victim, or like, if you have some conflict of interest with the case, you're like not allowed to like investigate it or like prosecute it and shit. Here in this fucking world, you just fucking like Oh, you want? Oh fuck! I have my AC on. I need to turn that off. It's probably showing up on. My bad. Should be off now. But yeah, in this world, it's literally just fucking like, excuse me, Judge. I fucking hate the guts of the defense attorney on this case. Put me in. And he's like, oh yes, oh, I love a little bit, some good courtroom drama. You know, it's fucking ridiculous. Like fucking Gatto probably went to like the chief of police and was like, hey chief, I'm the murderer in this case, so I know everything, so just let me prosecute. And the chief of police was like, oh yeah, sounds reasonable to me. Yeah. That's no way to get the crowd jumping, huh, Judge? They're not supposed to jump! This is a courtroom. Acton, baby! Today we play it my way. Acton Baby is a band. You sure? Why is this theme so good? The guitar! Woo! Hold on, I need to hear this guitar solo. Okay, I think it's looping now. My god, that was good! Also, his fucking point? What is this? What the fuck is this shit? What is he doing? What's that noise? Sometimes you have to get up in order to get down. To prosecuting. This is crazy. The victim, Al Maratkas, director of the Maratkas Clinic. The scene, People Park. He was found pulling a noodle stand. What in the world is a doctor doing pulling a noodle stand? Yes, I believe you will only find that out by asking the defendant. Right here, right now. Because it is an undeniable truth that he shot the victim. What do you mean, undeniable? If you are to glare at anyone, Herr Justice, glare at the punk in the defendant's chair. This crime was witnessed quite clearly, you see. We have a witness? Why was I not informed of it? Why am I never informed of this? Very well. Please admit this witness to the court. Nine. Not yet. I can't, man. You just... I'd like to imagine that so that was only cool because of the fucking, like, guitar riff that was playing, right? The fucking melody that was playing. But that's only us, right? Like, the people in the courtroom aren't hearing that. They just see him doing the fucking air guitar like a fucking loser. I'd like to believe that that because of his lack of theme music, everyone here just thinks he's a fucking loser, not actually cool. First, there's a little matter to be cleared up. Did you talk without the accompaniment? I swear, I can see the guitar for a second. What is it, Prosecutor Captain? The motive, Herr Judge. Why did the little punk do it? Why did he kill the director of the Maratkas Clinic? Fucking, that's the second bot of the day. Be gone. Achten means watch on German. Well, yeah, but it's also, I'm pretty sure there's either a band or a song called Acting Baby, because it's a JoJo stand. Not so fast.
The defendant doesn't have to explain that. Oh, but what if the defendant specifically requests to do so, as he did this morning? I want to give a shout out to all my homies, I believe you said.
What?
Oh, God. What is right? They always say that. On stage, you should hit the crowd with speed and ferocity. Sounds like he got you good, huh, Polly?
Well, this is highly unusual, but the court will now hear from the defendant concerning his motive in the crime. Are you sure you don't plead guilty? Because this would make everything a lot faster.
The fact that I ban him so fast? Because I have the chat open on my phone over here. So I can just ban on my phone. Like, before, I would have to, like, tab out of the game, change tabs to the fucking thing, then click, then do the thing. Here, I have it literally right here.
Ain't your son, old man? You stepped on Kentucky? You must be prepared to step strong.
You step to a public official. You'd best be prepared to step into jail.
You gotta hand it to him. Rocky sure has guts.
That is guts I'm worried about. He lacks brains.
Well then, the court will now hear the testimony of the defendant's motive. From the defendant himself. Not the weirdest thing I've seen.
Walkie-talkie's truth.
I'll tell you one thing. That doctor was a quacker. Someone had to show him what's what.
Oh, right. I just remembered. Taki did patch-up jobs for, Maratkis did patch-up jobs for the Katakis. So he had mob connections and likely knew them quite well. So that explains why someone might have a motive to snuff him. If he was involved with the mafia, people get snuffed all the time.
I was in his clinic about a year ago. He messed up my op. He messed up my op, something bad. And he just let me go, without a word. See you later, bye. So I gotta go in. Get another doc to pass me up again. That was the day I done figured it out. No OG's gonna let that pass. That's why I went to his pad that night. Know what I'm saying?
His ad? You met him in a park. Walkie's hairstyle is weird as fuck, though. Everything about Walkie.
You're saying you were one of the victim's patients? That stuff goes down when you're keeping it real on the street. Through that, I'll tell you one thing. That doc was whack. His hair, whack. The way he talk, whack. The way he walk, whack. The way he don't even like to smile, whack. Me, I'm tight as fuck, boy. Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
I can't believe this is the first time I'm hearing about all of this. Don't think anyone would dare kill someone from Kitaki family, though. Well, but he's not from the Kitaki family. He just works for them. So he's vulnerable. Walkie Kitaki's tooth. First of all, the word you're looking for is quack. And isn't that a little harsh? He's your family doctor.
Who asked you, Poylocks? Just who do you think you are?
You're a lawyer.
Look, I ain't trying to hear that. He was a quacker, plain and simple.
Okay, he's not budging on that one. You mean... Was there someone with a score to settle with this doctor? Besides you, I mean...
You better ask somebody else, Holmes. What do I care? I made my own mind and did what is done. Straight gangsta style. But why were you so mad at this doctor? Yo, sit back and listen when I drop it, J-Man.
He calls the judge J-Man!
About half a year ago,
So, you were a patient at the miraculous clinic half a year ago. For what reason?
I had what you might call a mark of honor.
Can you explain precisely what was wrong?
You had a run-in with the Rivales family? That's when he pulled a jack move. And ran into an ambush. She busted a cap right in me.
According to my sources, you couldn't stand the stress of waiting and ran 15 minutes before the appointed time. By yourself.
Hey, that was more than a match for those guys. So, you were carried to the miraculous clinic from there.
Apparently, he was shot in the heart. Shot in the heart? He's still alive? Damn. I can catch bullets between my teeth, but I never learned how to catch them with my heart.
Bullets stopped just short of my thumb. You know what I'm saying? I would be golden if it weren't for that whack doc. Couldn't even take out a stupid bullet.
Well, as you say, the surgery was a failure.
That ain't all of it, Holmes.
So this man is literally alive by a fucking thread, because whoever shot him did so with like a fucking 1 millimeter bullet.
What do you mean? They just let you go without a word?
What do you think it means? It's whack. That's what. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds bad.
It sounds as though Herr Doctor wished to hide his mistake. This is why he let the defendant go.
He's a liar, straight up. The better G than me.
Who was this other doc? So, the bullet is still...
You know it. I can still feel it. Right here in my chest, pressing up against my heart.
Your words are like a bullet, shot straight into my heart. Straight through the heart, shot through the heart, and you're to blame. You give love a bad name. Or something to that effect. Incidentally, that's from one of our hit singles.
He's just copying Bon Jovi, I see.
Well, that sounds like a straightforward case of malpractice. Word, J-Man! We're no accident, that's for shizzle. It seems that there were issues with the doctor. Man, putting him down was like doing the world a favor.
Bucky, please consult your lawyer before saying things like that. Chin up, Apollo. Back straight.
But why did this mistake only come to light that day?
It was found during the family checkup. Family checkup?
That was the wackest thing of all. All of us G's lining up, taking eye exams and all that. Better to die young than fade away, bizoy.
A relief to hear.
Eh, what's a relief?
Oh, did your father not tell you? The bullet you carry so close to your heart, if not attended to immediately, it could kill you. What? Yes, the Dr. Miratkis had knowledge concerning his ticking time bombing. Knowledge that saved your life.
No way! That's whacked!
There's proof. Your checkup report. Alright, let's examine that. How ironic that you would kill the one man capable of helping you. Okay. Walkie-talkie, age 19, male, June 14th. So literally, the day of the... He was getting his fucking annual checkup the day of the murder. That does not look good. Metallic object found near heart. Urgent exam needed. God damn it. You're almost as careless as he was. Well, now that the place is hopping, let's get this gig started.
Started?
You've had enough of a warm-up act, yeah? Time to hear from the witness. Lucky sure is quiet all of a sudden. I'm a little uneasy myself. Gavin's strategy? Who the fuck? So, you will tell us your name and occupation. My name is Wesley Stickler. By occupation, I take it you refer to the profits of society at large and support, under which definition I must confess to being uninterrupted. However, we must acknowledge the meaning of identity which is commonly attached to the notion of occupation, and once we have accepted this reality, we will see that our confusion is not just ours per se, but derives from instead the vagueness inherent in all representations, though. By which he means to say that he is a student. God damn. Okay, we've got an old bag on our hands. God damn it. A junior at Ivy University, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, in the Department of English and Engineering, Science and Engineering. Filled with a curiosity for all things, I spent my days in pursuit of truth, honing my... Herr Stickler, please. Please direct said curiosity. Case at hand today.
Very well, Mr. Stickler. Please testify to the court about what you saw on the night of the crime.
You ask, quite simplistically, what I saw, Herr. Understanding that Homo sapiens possess eyes, they're designed to receive and interpret data, sending images in the form of signals. Oh, it just cuts off. I like to imagine that he was just rambling for a while. But that night, I passed through the park on my way home from shopping when I saw them. One man pulling a stand, another man facing it. I saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant. In his hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. A shot! The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead.
Was there anyone else in the park at this time?
I can say with 100% accuracy that there was not. The pistol our witness refers to is this.
The court accepts this into evidence.
Okay, we have a pistol.
Very well, Mr. Justice. You may cross-examine the witness.
Weapon left at the scene of the crime. 2 rounds were fired. Well, that's certainly interesting. Fingerprints were wiped, so we can't use that to get as a get out of jail. Oh, don't point that thing at me. Don't worry. I can handle myself around guns. Magic guns, at least. The ones that pigeons come out of. Very reassuring. I wonder if we could see the bullet markings. Because we don't have any fingerprints. That's fun. Stickler be like, "Hi, sister." You have to give him a James Charles voice? No, I'm giving... With a name like Wesley, I'm giving him a British voice. There's no way I'm giving him anything other than that. Okay. How are we getting out of this? Yes, Your Honor. Trucy, why are you staring at like that at the witness? Man, I can't help but feel I've seen him somewhere before. Was he the one that stole the panties? The plot thickens. As to the park on the way home from shopping, oh, the way home from shopping, you say? I go through the park. Ah, a fascinating inquiry. revealing me culpable of being insufficiently verbose. Let us consider the time saved by passing through the park on the way home from the store. In that time, I am capable of solving 2 GMAT problem sets. On average, it requires me 3 minutes 24 seconds to complete one. Ergo, the time to complete 2 on average is 6 minutes and 48 seconds. However, in the case of the question is a very valuable category. Admittedly, not. That's enough. Enough! Get the idea.
Mr. Justice, the court hopes cross-examination sometime this month.
Please have a recording booked after this trial. And I've got a show to perform. So where does he live? If he was trying to save time by going through the park, it means that he either lives here or in this area. If he lives in this area, that's quite interesting. Does sound like a James Charles apology. Were these men talking, by any chance? Ah, now that you mention it, they were. Although I cannot claim I heard them clearly. Only fragments, such as, "You lied to me," and, "Oh, and
I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine, pal!
It's just as our defendant claimed. I believe he wished to teach the victim what it felt like to take a bullet to the heart.
If that's true, then this is the final piece of testimony.
Except the victim was shot on the head. It's like he heard them clearly enough to me. Hold it! Might I be allowed to amend my testimony? What now? To be precise, he did not say pal. Man. Yes, that was the way of it. I swear it on my diploma. What's the difference? Fun fact, Clavier is not actually German, he just likes the culture. I assumed something like that, considering his brother had no fucking, his brother didn't use German words, and assuming they moved to the, US, to Japanifornia together, it would mean that, if anything, his brother would have spent more time living in Germany, so that wouldn't make any sense. Her forehead's forehead. And this other man, who was he? Clearly a man of system. Would he be so sure it was the defendant? Crime took place at night. Would have been too dark. Perhaps I was remiss in not mentioning this earlier. Huh? You see, in class, I always sit at the very backmost seat. You know why? Who cares? Because I do not wish anyone to copy my perfect notes.
And this relates to your testimony how?
I mention this to illustrate my predisposition to that which is perfect. It was dark, you say? There are lights in the park. If I say the defendant was in the park that night, then he was in the park that night. It is hard. It is a hard, immutable fact. He sure is confident. Seems to be telling the truth, too.
Written meatloaf. What? Hi, Darius. How's it going? Ooh, new profile picture. Take a look at that. That... I don't think that's Danganronpa, though, because I don't recognize the characters.
In his hand, yes, a pistol. Is pointed at the man pulling the stand. You sure the pistol you saw is the same as the one you just submitted as evidence? Am I sure? Surely you jest! Or so a common witness would be tempted to say. Huh? Yet I am no common witness. I see not only events as they are, but the logical structure of governing these events.
Rentaro and Tenko. The art style must just be really different from the Danganronpa art style.
Consider that the pistol becomes difficult to say with certainty that Object A was indeed Object A. I think he means he couldn't see it cleanly.
Badge for a normal witness. Honestly, he's quite good by Ace Attorney standards.
Yet the fact that the pistol was fired before my eyes is indisputable. I can still see it when I close my eyes. The defendant raised his weapon. I shot the bullet at the man pulling the stand for the front, square in the forehead.
Which is a lie because it hit him in the temple.
You're absolutely certain only one shot was fired? Yes, of course it was one shot. Why do you ask?
Ah, a contradiction! Finally!
Mr. Stickler, according to the court record, the pistol was fired twice.
A clear objection!
Good eyes, Herr Justice. You're cool. Real cool.
Huh? You really think so?
Yet there is no reason why this other shot had to have been fired that night.
Reading?
This pistol came from the Kitagi family mansion, yeah? I think it is not unreasonable to assume the pistol had been fired once before that night, during perhaps another altercation.
Got a point. Denko hates all men, so I don't think that's gonna work. Yeah. Tenko is 100% a lesbian.
Judging from his smug expression, I'd say Prosecutor Gavin had the answer right before you even spotted the problem.
Seems pretty confident in his testimony.
We always make the biggest mistakes when we are our most confident. He's got a weak point somewhere, Apollo. Find it.
Right. Give that testimony another listen. So yeah, Gavin has now proven himself to be smarter than Gato was, so that's a good sign. Might actually have a competent prosecutor this time around. Feels like Edgeworth is back. Almost. Almost. Mr. Stickler, did Emma Skye not tell you? Would you care to take a look at this updated autopsy report?
That was all of it. I think I have a chance. Is that you relaxing? I see her, Justice.
Huh? Oh, objection! Well, once is quite enough, Mr. Justice. I'll overrule the second one. I'll allow you to continue with the first one.
Apollo, pace yourself. This trial's not over yet.
Right. Look at this. The autopsy report. Is there a problem with the autopsy report?
Right, a problem. Problem. Yes! Problem is the location of the entry wound.
The location? Meatloaf, the bat out of hell guy, he died 2 days ago? Who?
You testified that the killer shot the victim square in the forehead, did you not? Ah, I have already determined your angle of inquiry. Allow me to explain. It's quite simple. First, understand that when I say square, I do not speak of geometry. When I say my knees, for example, the deflection from the meter is 1.6. The wavelength of light emitted by a krypton particle is all I know. It is well known fact that the krypton particle are rare and visible to the naked eye, which points to a basic fallacy in your line of reasoning. Namely that...
Mr. Justice! I don't know why he's bringing up the 36th element of the periodic table, but go off, King.
Yes?
Was your objection to these, krypton particle things?
This is a big time, and you're obsessed with something so small. Disappoint me.
Oh, I'm obsessed with something big!
I mean, there's a bigger, less nitpicky problem here.
Do tell.
The autopsy report. Location of the entry wound was
the right temple!
The temple? Mr. Stickler, you said quite clearly the victim was shot square in the forehead. That's a contradiction. Isn't it?
Who means who, Darius? I do literally not know who this person is.
It is, right? Finally.
There we go. Her justice. Oh, her justice.
Yes?
Your tactics are outdated. You try to shake the witness by objecting to trifles. Surely you haven't forgotten the fatal wound your master suffered 7 years ago. Phoenix Wright, was it? Technically, my mentor was your brother, but sure.
Look, I know the wound was in the wrong place according to his testimony.
Oh, what is that face? Hey, her forehead. Forehead? Let us imagine you're walking through the park. You see two men facing each other, one with a pistol, trained on the other. What would you do? Her forehead?
Well, I guess.
Paradise by the Dashboard, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, bad out of hell. No, literally never. I have no idea what we're talking about here, Darius.
Try to stop them? I would try to stop them. I'd probably shout, "Stop!"
And you, Fire?
Me? Well, I'd probably scream, "Ah!"
And you, a stickler? What did you shout, I wonder? If the victim turned his head at the last moment. So, yeah, if the victim... So that would imply... That doesn't really... Because, okay, the murder was happening here. If for him to have been shot in the right temple, he must have been... He must have turned to the left, which means the dude was here. Which doesn't really make sense, considering that he comes in, he's like trying to go this, considering this is the path he was taken. Why was he over? Also an actor in Rocky Fight Club and Wayne's World? I still don't know who he is. I don't know by me. Okay, he debuted in the 70s, but it looks like most of his career took place in the 80s. Which makes sense that I don't know him, because I think 80s music fucking sucks. Like... Oh yes, thank you for jogging my memory.
It sounds like an addendum to the testimony is required.
Night in the park. Ooh. As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. Cease this at once, you two! I cried with composure. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene.
I see. So you attempted to stop the crime?
Indeed, with composure.
Well, maybe the criminal wouldn't have fired if you hadn't shouted like that. That really matter now, unfortunately.
Let us consider this new testimony, shall we? Observe the diagram, if you would. The witness, Mr. Stickler, was it? Stood here. He shouted, "Oh, stop, please!" or something of this nature, and the victim responded by looking in the witness's direction. Right. If the killer were to have fired at just that moment,
As you can see, the bullet would have struck the right temple, as in the report.
That does seem to be the case.
Witness the power of a junior in Ivy University's Department of Science! We, as a science student, we don't claim him.
Very well, Mr. Justice. You may cross-examine the witness.
Oh, okay, action. Okay, let's go ahead and save quick. God, I am tired. I did not get enough sleep last night. Might end up cutting this stream short. I'll see if I can run to first down 70 seconds, second. No, I looked at the he released a bunch. I looked through his discography. He released a bunch of stuff in the 80s. Action music. So, saw a raised pistol. Weren't you frightened? It should be said that we students of Ivy University know no fear. The moment I saw that pistol, my inner sense of justice compelled me to take action.
That was certainly brave of you. You might have gotten shot.
Eh? Certainly we're lucky. If I were the killer's shoes, I certainly would have left a witness behind. Oh no! He actually looks like he has no idea he was in danger. Regardless, I attempted to halt the bloodshed. Sure both men were able to hear your voice? They were, of course. My high, exquisite voice echoed through the park. And the victim responded to the clarion call. Right. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, shot rang out. So far it works out. You hear the gunshot in time as the victim turned? Indeed. I would say about the same time, to be precise. The victim didn't ask for your help? It can be said that he didn't have time to ask. He didn't even have time to take a single step. I'm totally sure that the killer fired because Mr. Stickler startled him. Say that too loud, Trucy, please. If he has a mental breakdown on the stand, we can't cross-examine him. Whereby our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Can you describe the killer's actions more clearly? He seemed quite surprised, especially considering that it was he who did the deed. Well, yeah, because it wasn't, genius. My god. Go work at a fucking steel mill. You do not deserve to study at a university. As you can see, human psychology is a tangled web indeed. He simply couldn't believe what he had done. He shot, he panicked, a common tale, but true. Got stabbed by his father when he was 19, fell on a third-story building, couple car crashes, plane crashes, survived it all. And somehow it was the virus that killed him. Ah, yes, the good old Rona. Literally, this whole thing is still going on because fucking, companies refuse to make vaccines available to third world countries. That's the reason why this whole bullshit is still happening.
and appear to have become frightened. Right, because he didn't
Actually kill him. Left the pistol aside, he fled for the... Okay. Didn't try to apprehend the criminal? It all happened so fast. I'm afraid I hadn't the time.
Doesn't something about that strike you as odd, Apollo? What? Killer was in a hurry, right? Fired the pistol and tossed it right away. According to the testimony, that's what happened, yeah. In that case, I'd expect to find something. Expect to find something that we didn't find.
Right, the fingerprints. Because if he just tossed the pistol away, there must have not. He wouldn't have had time to wipe the fingerprint.
It's something.
What?
I like that contradiction. I decided to see it go.
Not as sad as I feel. What do we do now?
At least the testimony's getting a little cleaner.
Right.
Maybe I can find something to use in this new testimony.
Right. So present the pistol and watch this.
Objection!
Wait a second. Another misleading request. Yet you're so beholden to your own mode of discourse, you can't see how it affects you. Shut the fuck up! Probably don't even know what dialectical materialism is, motherfucker. Come again? Wait a second, you say? A second? Are you intended to wait just a single second, 1/60th of a minute? That's hardly enough time to draw breath, let alone make a statement in court. Now, had you asked for a longer period of time, say 3 minutes, 53 seconds, perhaps?
Mr. Justice!
Yes, Your Honor?
Am I to understand that you are objecting to the length of a second?
Yes! I mean, no! Here, just look at the pistol. It doesn't have a single fingerprint on it. Ah, a common ploy. Made all the more common, I fear, by the prevalence of television. Criminals these days are loath to leave fingerprints. Wait, but you said the killer tossed the gun and ran. That's right. He didn't have time to wipe the gun for prints. Ah. Oh, that was a fucking... exploded there. We are so opposite? Regarding what? Music? Because I will hold on to my hatred of the 80s. It was just generic. The little girl sticking it to the university student. And there's a song in there. I think the 80s hold some of the best of all time and the 2000s suck. I think the 80s just have nothing special about them, like... And just the 2000s are like the golden era of like pop punk and rap. Honestly. I'm not little. Then let's think like adults, shall we, Paul I? Huh? Or is it Frey? I think it might be Frey. I'm not sure, because I think the umlaut on the A makes it pronounced A. Right. What if the killer, the defendant, were wearing gloves?
Gotta admit, I didn't think of that, Apollo.
Don't worry, you don't have to think about it because it's not true.
Well, Mr. Justice?
Would the killer have been wearing gloves?
No way. The record of the murder weapon is very clear about one thing. The fingerprints were white, which means some traces of prints remained, which contradicts your testimony. If everything happened as you say it did, he wouldn't have had time to wipe the pistol. That may be, but it does not change what I saw. No, but it proves that you are an unreliable witness. The killer, the defendant, he threw down the murderous weapon from his hands and fled. And this pistol was found at the scene of the crime, strongly suggesting that this was the weapon he disposed of. That sounds solid to me. Well, Her Forehead, any of your precious objections? But
gives, Apollo? Let's see if that voice training gonna work. You know, I've only recently realized something. No matter how much you train your voice, no matter if you have nothing to say. What do you mean, nothing to say?
That is not true. You need to take a lesson from Phoenix and Edgeworth in bluffing. Name one song you at least like a bit from the 80s. Holy Diver by
Deal!
What do you mean, nothing to say? Isn't it obvious what the witness just said?
Huh? Isn't what obvious?
But he restated what he saw just now. That he saw Walkie drop a murderous weapon. But that's not the same as being 100% sure of what Walkie threw away.
You're right.
He's confused because the pistol was found at the scene.
Right. He actually saw... So Walkie wasn't actually holding the victim at gunpoint. He was holding them at knife point. And someone else shot the victim. He throws the knife away, which still has prints on it. That works out.
Poor Mr. Stickler. It must be hard to be so perfect and yet so wrong.
Oh my god, Trucy, have some... Calm down. You just killed the poor man.
Well, it can be said that I am quite offended. Well, it is indeed true that I am seized by the teeth of the person blackboard. The operation Paul might be perfect with the...
What we can say for certain is that the witness saw the killer throw something. Does the defense have anything to say about this?
Well, if what he threw wasn't the pistol, it had to be something else.
At least one person on the defense team seems to be thinking.
Wipe that smile off your pretty face, Gavin.
Perhaps you can inform the court as to the nature of this something else. What did the killer throw away before fleeing the scene?
All for today, bye, Jackson. Later, Chatakami. Thanks for being here.
It's that! A sword! I saw one of those on the late night movie last night.
Right, sleep-deprived judge.
That actually explains a lot, though.
This knife was found at the scene of the crime, with the defendant's prints on it.
It's prints?
A single piece of evidence proves two important things. One, that what the defendant threw down wasn't a pistol. Two, the defendant wasn't wearing gloves.
Indeed.
Oh, her forehead. You're forgetting two other things you've just proven.
Huh?
One, that the man the witness saw was the defendant, the walkie-talkie. Two, the defendant was holding a knife with the intent of harming the victim. But it doesn't matter! In fact, that just helps my case. Because if he was holding a knife for him, if he was holding a knife on him, then, like, why did he have a gun? Yeah? If he had a gun on him, you'd think he would be using that instead of a fucking knife. Yeah, let's say Don't Try Suicide by Queen. Queen makes a lot of good, made a lot of good stuff. I do think they are a bit overrated, though. Like, they're good. I think they get, maybe a bit too much praise. Oh!
Indeed.
Never underestimate Mr. Gavin. Never underestimate a Gavin is the lesson here.
This court is of the opinion that our witness is fond of making assumptions. In that light, I believe it would behoove us to hear about what really occurred, with less assuming.
The most logical people are often the most wrong, because with good logical skills, you can essentially convince yourself of anything, even if there's evidence.
It's always the same with you people. Mark left the house on foot, and 5 minutes later, his brother left at him.
Oh, do you like do your do your yawns get triggered by other people yawning? I have a friend who's like extremely fuck, what's the word? Empath. I have a friend, Luca, who you've seen on the who's been on the channel before. He's a bit of an empath in the sense that, like, if he sees someone, him just hearing, if I just tell Luca, if I just walk up to him and I just say yawn, just the word yawn, he will yawn. I once showed him a picture of a goldfish with its mouth open, and it made him yawn. And every time I showed him the picture, he would yawn. And, he also, like, whenever he sees someone get, like, hit in the balls in, like, a movie or a TV show, he always, like, feels the full pain of it. It's fucking wild. Mark left the house on foot, and 5 minutes later, his brother left after him. How long would it take for Mark's brother to catch up to him? Assuming that Mark never had to stop for a traffic light. Assuming... Yes, that's what I said. Assuming... If that were a probable situation at all. Yet here you are, assuming that my assumption is no better.
What this court assumes...
See, this is the problem with science students. You know, just like, assume no friction and that the cow is spherical. Yes, this is an accurate model of physical interactions.
Is that the witness will testify as to what happened after the shot was fired.
I wonder why it is that yawning is contagious. Why specifically yawning and not like other? Shot to call. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene, nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else. Okay, that is helpful. Why didn't you chase the killer? He was, as you say, a killer. Of course I could have run him down, yet what would he have done when cornered? Sadly, it takes more than an aptitude for solving quadratic equations to know that. What? It seems you are not the very model of a modern Major General and lack information vegetable, animal, and mineral. Even if you do understand equations both as simple and quadratical. I mean, you did see him throw away the weapon, so he was unarmed. You could have actually picked up the weapon and used it to capture him. But the testimony earlier not prove the defendant's presence at the scene, and we not also now know that there was no one else there. It seems clear that we have our killer, does it not?
Does it not, Mr. Justice?
Find a way to take this testimony down quick. Okay. Which way did the killer run? At the time, it was clear the killer had noticed me. Naturally, he ran in the opposite direction. I mean, he ran in the opposite direction from the Kentucky mansion. Acton. Don't even think about pointing out that he was going away from his home. All he had to do was loop back once he was out of sight. How did he know that's where I was going? Because he's actually good at this. He was certainly composed for someone who had just witnessed the killing. If one is to devote one's life to the pursuit of science, one must never flinch at the sight of a little blood, nor will
nor will be so moved by chemical discovery that one drops one flask upon the lab room floor.
Ooh, cool answer. Very cool.
Nothing strange about how he acted. Trucy looks like he has something to say.
Use my cell phone. Call the police.
Was it your first thought to call an ambulance?
Oh, I am so tired. My God, might have to end the stream early.
It can be said that I have dabbled in medicine. The injury I witnessed, namely a single shot to the head, tends to result in death.
But not always.
Ergo, there's no need for me to call an ambulance. Oh, a perfect syllogism. A proof in the 3 parts. Exquisite. Simply exquisite.
Actually looks like he's gonna cry. What is it, Trucy?
The police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later. I saw no one else. Can you tell us a detail about these 10 minutes? I stood in a state of heightened awareness. Anything could happen at any moment. Anyone could appear from any direction.
Is that all?
No one came. Nothing happened at all. I saw it all, which is to say I saw nothing.
It was late that night. It's not odd to think there would be few people around in the park.
Just stood there watching? Not much to go on there.
Trucy, you got something to say, by all means say it. I can't find a single problem with that testimony.
Had enough at last, her forehead.
Maybe it's time to back off a bit?
Back off for right.
Nothing fishy about that testimony at all.
It appears there are no objections to the witness's current testimony.
There are a number of ways to explain the lack of prints on the pistol, I assure you. Perhaps the killer really was wearing gloves which wiped the previous user's prints off. Then after the deed was done, this fell out of his pocket as he was throwing the gun away. A mistake befitting of a small-time punk, in my opinion.
Oh! No!
It seems we've come to the end of the line here.
Oh, can't be all.
How unfortunate. It seems that you weren't cut out to stand on the same stage as me. Were you, her forehead?
I believe this brings the cross-examination to a close. The court will now declare a verdict for the defendant, Walkie-Kentucky.
Alright! This is it, Trucy! Will you, throw out an objection, maybe?
Trucy?
Nobody move!
What's the meaning of this? Who are you?
There will be no verdict in this court, not yet.
What the fuck? Wait, are you one of the Kentuckys?
The Kentuckys? You mean the notorious gangsters? You don't want to see the little girl. You don't want to see me give the pretty little girl a new smile. Do as I say. Adjourn the court for 20 minutes. What? This court will not bow to pressure from the likes of...
Oh, Judge. I see little point in further aggravating this gentleman.
Recess 20 minutes, or I promise you, you'll regret it.
Wait! How did he disappear so fast? Fucking ninjas? Come to the defendant lobby, Apollo!
I suppose I have no choice but to adjourn for a 20-minute recess. Bailiff, catch that mysterious man!
Okay. Ooh, I love the save music. I think I need to quit here. I'm exhausted. I'm really sleep deprived. I think, yeah. I don't think I can keep going, guys, so I'm gonna leave it here for today, and I think I'll be able to stream again Tuesday. Now that I'm here at my usual setup and I got my schedule set up, it looks like I'll be streaming, usually, I'll probably be streaming Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. Those are the days that I can stream. Whether I will be streaming or not depends on the day, but I'll try to do 2 episodes a week of Apollo Justice. But yeah, I have to stop right here because, my god, I am exhausted right now. So, I know this is a bit of a shorter, episode, but, regardless, okay, I'm just gonna go here since my webcam is fucking broken. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe and, hit that like button if you enjoyed. Yeah, we're gonna leave it on this fucking hell of a cliffhanger. I'm sorry, guys, but this seems like it's turning to be really interesting, and I don't want to miss it. Like, I don't want to miss it just because I'm, like, not fully there, like, mentally. So I'm gonna, so I'd rather, you know, I'd rather wait it out a little bit. And, we'll come back on Tuesday, hopefully, depending on how much work I have to do. We'll come back on probably Tuesday and, continue the trial. So far, it's very interesting because it seems like Kitaki was going to kill the doctor for not removing the thing, came there with a knife, and then afterwards, and by the way, knife is a much better murder weapon than a gun. It's a lot harder to trace a knife than a gun. But then it seems someone else killed the doctor before Walkie had a chance. I wonder. If someone was gonna kill the doctor, right? Why would they not just let Kitaki do it and let him take the fall for it, right? So the question remains, why was the doctor killed? And why didn't the killer just let Kitaki go through with it? Because if he did, then he wouldn't even have to, then he would just let Kitaki take the fall for the crime, and then bing bada boom, you know, the guy you wanted dead is dead. I suppose one possibility is that the killer really hated the doctor and wanted to kill him himself. So, you know, for like some kind of like twisted revenge or something. It was like, I need to kill him myself before Kitaki can. That way, because, you know, if Kitaki kills him, then I don't get my revenge, right? Another possibility is that someone from the Kitaki family, possibly Plum or Wilfred, I think his name is, knew that Walkie was going to try to kill the surgeon, but because they didn't want Walkie to end up going to jail for murder, since, you know, they're trying to protect the heir to the family, they decided to kill the guy themselves to do it. But then they essentially just left evidence behind that ended up incriminating Walkie. So I don't think that's a possibility. I just don't see the point of framing Walkie when Walkie could have, like, you wouldn't have to frame Walkie if you just let Walkie kill him with the knife. He didn't even have gloves on. His fingerprints were on the murder weapon if he had murdered him. So, I don't know. But yeah, we'll leave it here. We'll pick up on Tuesday, hopefully. And if not, on Friday. Alright, thanks guys, and see ya Tuesday, hopefully. Actually, no, see you tomorrow for Persona 4 at 3. So, see you then.